We've learned the great truths. We could become so absorbed in our wonderful riches that we forget all about the lost people. You know, we could be so busy singing our own music that we forget that they need to hear the song too. We could like it so much here that we forget about out there. Once there was a man named Luigi Tarisio. Luigi Tarisio was found dead one morning in his house without scarcely a comfort in the entire place. But stashed away in Luigi's house, get this, were 246 exquisite violins, which he had been collecting all his life and crammed into his attic, the best of which were in the bottom drawer of a rickety old bureau. Luigi, in his great devotion to the violin, had robbed the world of all of its music. All the time he treasured the violins, the world never heard their song. Others before him had done the same. Do you know that the greatest Stradivarius violin ever made was first played when it was 147 years old? Because somebody stashed it away. I wonder how many Christians are like old Luigi Tarisio. In your very love for the church, in your very love for the treasures of the Word of God, you get absorbed and the world never hears their music. Tragic. Somebody told me a statistic that I don't want to believe. 95% of all Christians have never led anybody to Jesus Christ. 95% of all the world's great spiritual violins have never played. You can hold on to the things you love in the church, but you got to reach out too. I love the story Moody used to tell. He said he was visiting a Chicago art gallery, and he stood before a painting entitled what Rufus played for us tonight, Rock of Ages. Picture showed a person with both hands clinging to a cross that was embedded in a rock while a stormy sea smashed against the rock. He hung to the cross. Moody said, I thought it was the most beautiful picture I had ever seen. Years later, he said, I saw a similar picture. This one showed a person in a storm holding a cross, but with one hand, while he was reaching to a drowning man with the other. Moody said that was lovelier yet. We're rich at Grace Church. I hope we're not forgetful of those that desperately need what we possess. In one of his books, S.D. Gordon pictures Gabriel as engaged in a dialogue with Christ shortly after the ascension, and the angel is asking Christ about the plans for evangelism. And Jesus said, well, I asked Peter and James and John and Andrew and a few others to make it the business of their lives to tell people, and then those others would tell others, and finally the whole world would hear the story and feel the power of it. And in the legend, Gabriel said, but suppose they don't tell others. What then? And Jesus answered quietly, I have no other plans. I'm counting on them. I have no other plans.